I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Homestead. Cody Burke and Clay Kirchenbauer have the front row. Richie Joplin and Tyler on the second row. Patrick Pieper, Richard Cragen on the third row. Vic Brown, Kirk Marble on the fourth row. Randy Sample and Colby Whipple rounding out the top 10. Chad Ragsdale starting in 11th. Next to Austin Ruskoff in 12th. Jason McCall in 13th, Eric Wilkowiak in 14th, David Lux in 15th, Brian Hewitt in 16th, Ryan McDaniel starting in 17th, and Bradley James rounds out the 18-car season finale at Homestead. Cody Burke snuck in and got his qualifying laps in. Everybody rolls off pit road. Cody Burke sneaking in here at the last minute, got his qualifying run in. We saw his first time here. The dominance of Burke. We have seen how dominant he has been in SMR on Sunday nights. But all Clay Kirchenbauer needs to do really is lead a lap in the early going, and he will have this thing locked up. Here they come out of turn 4. Pace car dives to pit road, and the green flag flies for the season finale from Homestead. Burke quickly out to the lead. That outside line does not get moving. Richie Joplin slips up into second. They're 3 wide out of turn 2. Tyler Ott pulls out into 4th, getting them back down to 2 wide, back behind. Clay Kirchenbauer holding on to second for the moment as Cody Burke jumps out ahead. A big half-second lead after the first lap. Eric Wilkowiak, remember, got no practice, started at 14th. Will he and Bob Ross be able to make it to the front? A lot of battling back in the mid-pack. The top 10 really starting to shake up. Chad Ragsdale on the bottom moving forward. We did hear Clay Kirchenbauer during pre-race say he would be working that bottom line a lot more tonight. And there you see he's going to it into turn 3. That's a bit of a surprise. Clay usually loves riding right up on the wall. Clay did set the fastest lap last time by, but Richard Cragen just beat it with a 32.84. As the night continues to cool off, I think we'll see lap times getting faster. And this is one of those tracks, folks, we very rarely see a caution. If we do, we see one early on in the race, and then a lot of green flag runs. Fuel and tire strategy here tonight, especially tires, is going to be crucial. Keeping those tires, not wearing them out too early. Wow, Kirk Marble just got sandwiched for a moment. Kirk looking for his fourth win of the season. He would have been up battling for the championship, but has missed too many races to be in contention with Clay. Clay still about a half second behind Cody Burke at the moment. Richie still sits in third. Richard Crangan in sixth. Vic Brown, we talked to him before the race, currently running in seventh, has just been one of the most consistent drivers all season long. And man, what a season it has been. Bradley James in the 4-car, already up 10 spots into 8th. Bradley on the march. James currently the biggest mover in the field. In fact, the only driver at the moment that's picked up more than one spot. Ryan McDaniel starting to make some moves forward. He is up to 16th. But David Lux trying to fight back past him. Remember, Lux had a power outage a few moments before the race. He's obviously blinking a little bit. Will his connection and power hold to make it through? Richie Joplin has moved into second place. Moving points leader Clay Kirchenbauer back to third. Cody Burke, though, still has a half-second lead. Burke's nickname, the Dominator, showing once again. It'll be interesting if Cody runs the full season next season. Will anybody be able to stop him in this league? Nobody has been able to stop him on Sunday nights in SMR. Randy Sample now up into 8th place. And Bradley James continues to march forward. He is up 12 spots, now into 6th. Oh, Sample's gone low out of 2. He lost a lot of momentum there. He is losing spots. And we've got a truck loose out of 4. Bradley James is fading quickly. Bradley has just slipped back to 14th in the course of a lap. He lost 8 spots. Patrick Pieper up in 5th was battling. Was there some contact? Let's take a quick look. There's Bradley on the high side. He was looking for 5th from Pieper. As they come out of turn 4, Pieper, holy cow! Oh! James gets into the wall hard in turn 1. And that's what caused Bradley to lose a lot of ground. He has gone to pit road. Cody Burke still out front by almost a second. We've seen Bradley James come through this field once already. Can he do it again? That pit stop, 4 tires, fuel, and repairs has put him back in 18th. And no longer on the lead lap, but if we get a caution, he is in the lucky dog position at the moment. One person who does not want to see a caution now is the leader, Cody Burke. He has a 1 1/4 second lead over Richie Joplin. Clay Kirchenbauer in third, and a lot of battling going on back behind. Pieper trying to hold off Tyler Ott. Kirk Marble almost made it 3 wide going off into turn 1 last time. Cody Burke's lead now 1.5 seconds. Clay looks to the high side. He slingshots out of 4. Big run down to the bottom. Clay Kirchenbauer goes back to second. Randy Sample also on the move, up 4 spots now into 5th. Tyler Ott, Richard Cragen, and Kirk Marble right behind, battling it out. We've got one truck kissing the wall. I believe it was Whipple. Does look like that was Whipple, sending sparks flying out of turn 4. Ragsdale takes advantage. Whipple back to the bottom, out of turn 2. It's a drag race down the backstretch. Off into 3. Whipple gets a little bit ahead. That high line does carry more momentum out of the turn. Just ahead, Kirk Marble trying to navigate through some traffic. We mentioned tire strategy would be key here tonight. They're coming down to the start of lap 20. Cody Burke's fastest lap so far, 32.90. Last time by, 34 dead. So 1.1 seconds slower, and that's a pretty consistent number throughout the field. In fact, Cody Burke's probably got less tire wear than everybody else. Last time by, Cody Burke did a 34.08, Clay Kirchenbauer 34.19, Richie Joplin 34.31. Hey, good evening to Cody Kennedy. And looking forward to seeing Kennedy back on track. Cody, it's just great to have you back. In the comments, buddy. How are you feeling? Cody Burke is always cheering on Kirk Marble. Kirk currently back in 6th place. Gerald Poole absolutely right. Clean air, the most important thing in this truck. Tyler Ott has slipped back to 10th now. Whipple on the move. Colby now up into 9th place. Richard Cragen in 8th. Chad Ragsdale. Whoa, Ragsdale on the move. A big move out of turn 4. He looks down under Kirk Marble. Ragsdale up 4 spots into 7th, trying to take 6 from Kirk. Randy Sample in the mix as well. Yeah, Cody, send me a message after the race, buddy, and I understand how you feel completely. Man, I'm just glad you're out of the hospital. Looking forward to seeing you back on track. Eric Walkowiak is shooting sparks off the wall. Walkowiak, who got no practice, started back in 14th and is now up into 11th. He's starting to make some moves toward the front. Austin Ruskoff lurking back in 12th. Vic Brown in 13th. David Lux up into 14th. Brian Hewitt in 15th. Jason McCall in 16th. Brian McDaniel in 17th. Bradley James back in 18th. Jason, you're absolutely right. The Highline here at Homestead, man, it does tend to be the best place to be. But it does look like here tonight we're seeing a lot more cars on the long run dropping to the bottom as Bradley James is coming by Cody Burke to put himself back on the lead lap. Man, Bradley really needs a caution right now. Kirk Marble has fought his way up into 4th. Patrick Pieper trying to hold on to 5th, but Chad Ragsdale, big run on the high side. Now the drivers do have between 40 and 45 laps on a tank of fuel here tonight. So we're just about 10, 12 laps from seeing the start of green flag pits. Pieper trying to fight back on the bottom. Worth noting, Clay Kirchenbauer currently second on track, about 2.5 seconds back from Cody Burke now. Burke is just dominating, as we always see out of him. Austin Ruskoff has cracked into the top 10, now in 10th place. Really starting to see a few of these trucks who conserved in the early going starting to make some moves forward. And you're definitely starting to see some of the guys who used their tires up a little too early fade toward the back. And you know Bradley James is hoping for a caution. He was the fastest truck out there until that battle for 5th place with Patrick Pieper put him in the wall. Went to pit road, got the truck fixed, 4 tires and fuel. But man, he is way, way behind. Cody Burke's lead now 3 seconds over Clay Kirchenbauer. Richie Joplin in 3rd, Kirk Marble now in 4th, Chad Ragsdale in 5th. Patrick Pieper now in 6th, Richard Cragen in 7th. Colby Whipple appears to be one of the drivers that conserved his tires in the early going. Whoops. But then he just kissed the wall through 1 and 2. Whipple was in 8th. Whipple now in 9th as Randy Sample pulls up into 8th. And here comes Ruskoff. Vic Brown has drifted back a little here in the early going. He is now back into 11th. David Lux has made his way up to 12th. Walkowiak currently holding on to 13th as Ryan McDaniel is going to be the first driver in. He is short pitting here. Ryan was back in 17th. Will the fresh tires help him gain some ground before the rest of the field gets to pit road? Jason McCall is now coming in. Looks like we've got a few drivers pulling for the short pit here. Kirk Marble has now moved up into 3rd. Richie Joplin currently in 4th, Ragsdale in 5th. Patrick Pieper in 6th, but for how much longer? Richard Cragen and Randy Sample right there with them. I thought Randy was starting to fade a little bit. He had fallen outside of the top 10 for a moment, but has fought his way back up into 8th. Colby Whipple, after we saw him ride the wall for a moment, has slipped back to 11th, and Whipple's coming in. Randy Sample is in. Tyler Ott is coming in. Eric Walkowiak also on pit road. It's worth noting green flag pit stops here can be a little chaotic. Just about every broadcast we have here at Homestead, we see at least one driver hit the barrels at the end of pit road, and we often see a driver just barely miss them and miss pit road entry. Will the drivers have any problems here tonight? I did see quite a few putting in some extra practice for pitting earlier on in the night. Clay Kirchenbauer in 2nd, now 4 1/4 seconds back. But as long as Clay can hold on to 2nd, he will lock up the championship. Kirk Martle in 3rd, 4 1/4 seconds behind Clay. Chad Ragsdale has now made his way to 4th, pushing Richie back to 5th. At the moment, that makes Ragsdale the biggest mover so far, up 7 spots. Richard Cragen has brought it in from 9th place. He is on pit road. David Lux giving up 10th. Starting lap 40, and now they are all within that fuel window. Like we said, between 40 and 45 laps on a tank of fuel here tonight. Patrick Pieper fighting back. He is going to take 5th. Richie Joplin appears to be fading, but Richie goes back across. And Whipple on fresh tires. Whoa! Contact between Richie and Pieper. Richie holds on to it. Let's take another look at this battle. As Richie looks to the inside in turn 3, Whipple back behind him on fresh tires. Haven't completed his stop, just shoots it up the gap. Richie comes out, gets into Patrick. Unfortunately, Richie manages to hold on. Kenny will definitely crank it up if we get a caution, but right now, not enough of them together to really get the full effect here. Bradley James really needs that caution right now. He is back on the lead lap in 9th place, and a caution right now would trap a lot of the field a lap down. Now, will we see Cody Burke bring it in this time? No, he stays out. Clay Kirchenbauer stays out as well as Whipple goes by. Chad Ragsdale stays out. Richie Joplin comes in. Richie had lost a bit of ground after that incident with Pieper a few moments ago. And Cody Burke gives up the lead. Whoa, a little bobble as he gets it wound up. He is in. Clay right behind him. Chad Ragsdale, Kirk Marble, Patrick Pieper. Oh, a little excitement there as they come in. Austin Ruskoff stretching the fuel. We know from Sunday night, Ruskoff always has the fuel strategy. And Bradley James is now in 2nd place, hoping and praying for a caution. Oh, Bradley gets the wall at a 2. Austin Ruskoff is on pit road. Cody, somehow I'm not surprised you did. Bradley James now has the lead over Whipple. Cody Burke in 3rd. Randy Sample in 4th. Eric Walkowiak in 5th. If we're going to see a caution, it'll be here very soon as all these drivers coming out on fresh tires. Tyler Ott right behind in 6th. Richard Kraken in 7th. Jason McCall in 8th. Clay Kirchenbauer in 9th. David Lux back in 10th. Cody Burke he's battling with Whipple for 2nd place. Burke does have the fresher tires, takes it as they go off into 3 and 4. Now we have only seen a handful of C12 Motorsports races that went caution free. And it's looking like this race is headed in that direction here tonight. And Bradley James gives up the lead. He is in. Cody, I will definitely try and get that message passed along. Cody Burke has the lead by 2.1 seconds over Whipple. Randy Sample currently in third. Richard Kraken in fourth. Eric Wolkowiak is now up into fifth. Tyler Ott, Clay Kirchenbauer, Kirk Marble, Chad Ragsdale, Patrick Pieper rounding out the top 10. We saw no issues on pit road. Despite a few close calls on pit road entry, no speeding penalties either. Bradley James unfortunately drops back to 18th. Brian McDaniel in 17th. Brian Hewitt in 16th. Austin Roscoff currently in 15th. Vic Brown 14th. Richie Joplin, after that incident with Pieper, lost a lot of ground. He is back into 13th. Jason McCall in 12th. David Lux in 11th. And Patrick Pieper in 10th. And now here is where things get a little interesting. We have a lot of drivers that did short pit around lap 35. They will likely make an extra pit stop, but as we pointed out earlier, man, those fresh tires are as much as 2 seconds a lap faster. This is one of those tracks that short pitting, if you nail the strategy, it can pay off. We'll see if it pays off for anybody tonight. But it's hard for any strategy to work when the dominator, Cody Burke, is on track. Colby Whipple currently in third, just got passed by Randy Sample. Sample almost 6.5 seconds behind the leader, but man, Randy has been on fire here tonight. He was moving up through the field before that first pit stop. He is one of the drivers that did short pit. We'll see if he can make this strategy work in his favor. And he has not been here for the full season, but he has made quite an impression since joining C12 Motorsports, and he has been fast. Points leader Clay Kirchenbauer now into fifth. Kirk Marble right on his bumper. Chad Ragsdale and Patrick Pieper there as well. Remember, the top two in points, Clay Kirchenbauer and Patrick Pieper. Neither driver has led a lap tonight. Neither driver has picked up any bonus points. As they run right now, Clay is our new champion. You think he'll eat some M&Ms to celebrate? mentioned it earlier on in the race, folks. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and the YouTube. As we mentioned, a lot of great content coming out on YouTube. A lot of shorts come out every day. A lot of funny trucking shorts and gaming shorts. A lot of great racing action as well. But some the fan favorite and driver favorite things have come back, including the way I see it on Sunday afternoons, and the HTSAI podcast has returned. It'll be coming out every Monday. The Unicorn and I will be talking about everything from racing to trucking to life and everything in between. There will be some interviews coming in the future as well. Chad Ragsdale, Richard Craig, and Colby Whipple. Whipple currently has fourth. Chad Ragsdale in this group has the freshest tires. He did not come in to lap 54, and those fresh tires paying off. As Whipple loses a couple of spots on that one, and Clay right on his bumper. Clay also one of the drivers that stretched as far as he could. Clay Kirchenbauer, Patrick Pieper both came in on lap 44. And for the first time tonight, Patrick Pieper is ahead of Clay Kirchenbauer. But everybody is chasing that man, the Dominator, Cody Burke. I do believe this is Cody Burke's, I do believe only his third race in C12 Motorsports. And he already has one win. Has had a problem back behind, no caution yet. And it does not look like we're going to see the caution. Let's take a look and see what happened with Cragen. Whoa! Well, we got a picture of the ride. Let's see where this started. There's Cragen heading off into the turn up on the high side. Pieper underneath. Coming into turn 4, no problem. Pieper gets by clean, then heads off into 1 and 2. Again, Cragen goes to the high side. And the truck starts getting loose mid-turn. He gets it gathered up, but the correction causes him to get loose again. Wow, what a ride. But somehow he keeps it out of the wall. Taking one more look at this from the blimp. As Cragen comes through 3 and 4 and heads down the front stretch, Pieper pulls just ahead. They head off into 1 and 2. Pieper on the bottom, Cragen up top. And there you see it, Cragen starts getting loose. Out of turn 2, he does get it saved, tries to correct it, comes back up the track, but he doesn't hit the outside wall and he gets it woed up before the inside wall. Great save by Richard. You know, Bradley James was just a cussing when the caution didn't come out. That was his shot. James still one of the fastest trucks on track. In fact, last time by, he was the fastest truck on track, including faster than leader Cody Burke. You know Burke has to be open. There is not a caution. Bradley has come through this field once already and can likely do it again. We might start seeing more and more trucks getting loose. Hey, good evening, Cal. The sun is going down, the lights have come on, likely have a cooler track temperature, and while they likely have more grip, sometimes that does cause, especially on fresh tires, the truck to get really loose. They're carrying more speed. Track temperature now down to 83 degrees. Air temperature 79. We are seeing faster lap times. It'll be really interesting to see just how fast they are once pit stops and fresh tires are on the trucks. No problem, Count. How you doing, buddy? Toby Whipple is on pit road. Eric Walkowiak is in. Gerald, you're absolutely right. Track conditions changing. The plot does thicken here. Now remember, we mentioned it last time during green flag stops. Once these pit stops start, this is the highest probability of having a caution. Now that the track seems to be loosening up just a bit, I have a feeling we might see some problems. Oh, nice work, Kel. I'll try and tune in for it. I'll have to look that one up. I don't think I've seen that game yet. Chad Ragsdale has come in for his pit stop. Richard Craig and Jason McCall are also on pit road. Ryan McDaniel is starting to make up some ground, quietly coming through the field. Between pit stops and finding some more speed, he has made his way to 12th. Cody Burke, meanwhile, continues to extend his lead. It is now 13 1/4 seconds over Kirk Marble in second. But Patrick Pieper looking for second as they come through 3 and 4. With points leader Clay Kirchenbauer right behind. And hello to the beautiful unicorn watching at home. Brian Hewitt bringing his truck in now. We did see quite a few trucks pulling the short pit earlier on. Looks like the next truck we should see in is David Lux. And that should be any lap now. He last pitted on lap 38. The rest of the field, Richard Cragen has had another problem. He has towed it to pit road. No caution. Oh, Cragen wicked loose out of turn 4, gets the inside wall and tows it in to get it fixed. Cragen definitely having a rough night, but with the track conditions changing, this is going to get interesting. As Gerald Thanos Poole said earlier, the plot thickens now. Speaking of Thanos, don't forget to come back tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. Home Motorsports takes to the track again. Richie Joplin will be on track along with Thanos and many other drivers from this league and all of our other leagues will be joining the fun. Cody, get some rest, get to feeling better, bud. Just glad you're back home. Clay Kirchenbaum currently sitting in second as he battles with Marble. Patrick Pieper back behind Chad Ragsdale in the fight as well. Ragsdale on fresher tires. And there you see the difference those fresh tires make. Through the turn, he just powers away. Bradley James still hoping for a caution here, currently running in 9th place. Currently scored on the lead lap. If a caution comes out, everybody on track ought to worry. Cody Burke continuing to dominate as a 10.5 second lead, but at the moment, Clay Kirchenbauer is closing in. Clay and Cody came in on the same lap, lap 44. But it does look like Clay has taken better care of the tires and is gaining some ground. Vic Brown back up into 6th. Austin Ruskoff now up into 7th. David Lux back in 8th. Remember, Lux is one of the drivers that did short pit on that first stop, but now he's coming in. And I think that is the longest fuel run we have seen here tonight. Looks like about 46 laps on a tank for Lux. Brian Hewitt on those fresh tires coming by the leader, along with Randy Sample getting himself back to the lead lap. Richie Joplin has made his way back up into the top 5. Currently running in 5th after that incident early. Holy cow, Richie got a lot of the wall there. Richie had a little bit of contact earlier with Patrick Pieper. It was a bit of a setback, but Richie fighting his way back toward the front. Blake Kirchenbauer has gained even more ground, now only 9.5 seconds behind Burke. They are only a couple laps away from pit stops. Clay has definitely managed to save his tires and have just enough speed. He is closing back up. But the question is, does he have enough speed to run down the leader? Now remember, everybody is going to need at least one more stop. Actually, doing a little bit of math here, based on the run that David Lux just had, Richie Joplin has come to pit road. Based on the run David Lux had, they might be able to stretch it. Richie may be able to stretch his final run, but if Burke can make it back to pit road, along with a lot of these other drivers, they may actually be able to go the distance. Kirk Marble has just gone to pit road, as has Bradley James. And the leader is on pit road. Clay Kirchenbauer coming in, Patrick Pieper coming in. These guys are right on the edge. Whoa, a bobble from Pieper. Vic Brown coming in 4th. Austin Ruskoff can stretch it. He stretched it on the first run. He's going to do it again here. Austin, the only driver who is guaranteed to be able to do this on one more stop that he'll make in the next 2 laps. And as Gerald Thanos Poole has said before, these teams are setting calculators on fire right now, trying to make it from this final stop. And Austin Ruskoff brings it in. He will complete the cycle of pit stops. Randy Sample, one of the first drivers on pit road, currently in the lead. Chad Ragsdale in second, Cody Burke in third. Remember, a few of these drivers have been short pitting all night, like Randy Sample. They will need one more stop, but they will have the last part of the race on the freshest tires. Man, it's going to be fun to watch. The Dominator currently in third, having just completed what he is hoping is his final stop. Hey, good evening, Jeff. Going great. How are you, buddy? Cody Burke moves up into second. That's always a plus, Jeff. Eric Walkowiak and Bob Ross currently sitting at fifth. But they have their hands full. Tyler Ott, Clay Kirchenbauer right behind Clay on fresher tires. Clay gets two positions in one turn, putting him back into the top five. It is worth noting, so far tonight, we have seen no problems coming to pit road, including no speeding penalties. Every one of these drivers doing an amazing job here tonight. Gerald, I'll shoot you a reply after the race, buddy. Colby Whipple currently up into fourth. Remember, he is one of the drivers that will have to make that final stop. Cody Burke has reclaimed the lead by 3.4 seconds. That lead growing quickly, and he is about to put Austin Ruskoff a lap down. Ruskoff currently in 13th. Bradley James has fought his way back to 12th. Man, talk about a comeback for him. Randy Sample has gone to pit road. Looks like he has towed it in. Let's see if there was a problem. There's Randy as Bert comes by to put him a lap down. Out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. The truck looks okay. No problems at that moment. And a moment later, coming through turns 3 and 4, and looks like Randy was headed to pit road. Oh, and has a problem getting on pit road. Final stops are underway for the drivers that have been short pitting. Whipple is in. Tyler Ott just completed his stop. Hey, good evening, Abraham. Hey, thanks, Count. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We're about to find out if the short pit strategy will pay off. Colby Whipple just completed his stop. Tyler Ott completed his. There's Tyler Ott. Just completed his stop. Remember, these guys, Ryan McDaniel in for his final stop. Remember, these guys will come back out on 4 fresh tires. Chad Ragsdale currently sitting in second, Pieper in third, Clay Kirchenbauer currently in fourth. No cautions yet tonight, but man, we have seen strategy at play. We have seen a lot of great battles, a lot of great racing. What better way to end the season? Bradley James currently sitting in 8th place. Eric Walkowiak coming in. James currently in 8th place. He is right on the cusp of being able to go the distance on fuel. He's right in that zone where we're not 100% sure if they can make it or not. Chad Ragsdale has dropped in as well. But it is worth noting, if Bradley James does not have to pit and makes it back into the top 5, man, what a run it would be. It would definitely be the comeback of the century. Gerald, in theory, yes, the cooler air would mean higher speeds and more fuel usage. but it also burns the fuel a little bit cleaner, so I don't know. It's really, really iffy for a lot of these drivers who pitted around lap 89 to 92. Cody Burke's lead now now about 13 seconds over Pieper. Clay Kirchenbauer in third, 1 1/4 seconds behind Pieper. He is closing in. Remember, we have seen all night Clay Kirchenbauer has been the fastest on old tires, with the exception of 7th place Bradley James. Colby Whipple, who just completed his stop, currently in 9th place. Tyler Ott just completed his stop in 10th. Chad Ragsdale in 11th. Eric Walkowiak in 13th. Brian Hewitt in 15th. Ryan McDaniel in 16th. And it looks like after his incident on pit road, Randy Sample has called it a night. Cody Burke's lead continuing to grow over Patrick Pieper, but Clay is getting closer and closer to Pieper. And with 23 laps to go, I can safely say Clay Kirchenbauer is our new champ. Kirk Marvel back and forth. If we get a full season out of Kirk next season, he could contend for the championship. However, Kirk did miss quite a few races due to the fact that he drives a Ford and just couldn't get it started. Vic Brown back in 5th. Richie Joplin in 6th. Closing on Vic. Bradley James in 7th. 4.5 seconds behind Richie and gaining. And James is coming in. Man, our hopes for Bradley getting that top 10 finish may have just ended, but still an impressive run, an impressive comeback for Bradley. Colby Whipple on fresh tires, currently in 8th place, 13 seconds behind Austin Ruskoff. But on the fresh tires, Colby about a second a lap faster. Tyler Ott currently in 9th, Chad Ragsdale in 10th, Walkowiak in 11th. Bradley James back out on track in 13th. About 7.3 seconds behind McCall. It's a long shot, but he has the freshest tires on track. And about 17 seconds outside the top 10 Bradley James has been one of, if not the fastest truck all night long. Could very well still pull off a top 10 here tonight. Brian Hewitt in 14th. Ryan McDaniel has made his way to 15th. David Lutz back in 16th. Randy Sample and Richard Cragen both out of the race early. Meanwhile, the Dominator out front continues to extend his lead over Pieper, now 14 seconds. Clay Kirchenbauer is closing the gap on Pieper. Kirk Marble in 4th, Vic Brown in 5th. And let's talk a little bit about our new champ, Clay Kirchenbauer. We have seen in seasons past where he has a ton of consistency, podiums week in and week out, but doesn't get a win all season, or doesn't get one until the last few races. This season he was able to pull off a couple of wins early on, put him up into the lead, and then the consistency just kept him up there, extending by a few points every week. Patrick Pieper, who came in tonight second in points, only had one win this season and just could not gain any ground on clay. Kirk Marble in 4th, 5.5 seconds back. Vic Brown in 5th, 5.3 seconds back. Richie Joplin in 6th. Austin Ruskoff having a great run tonight as well, currently in 7th. Austin, another one, having a great season. He came in tonight 5th in points, 1 point behind Bradley James. So he's likely to bump up to 4th in points after tonight's race. Speaking of James, he's currently back up into 12th. And just over 9 seconds out of the top 10. Bradley is moving forward quickly. With 12 laps to go, it is highly likely he will make it back into the top 10. What a comeback that has been. And Cody Burke has got to be happy right now that James has trapped the lap down. It is likely that Bradley James was the only driver tonight that could have stopped the Dominator from winning. Clay Kirchenbauer right on the bumper of Patrick Pieper. Colby Wemple has made his way back up to 8th. He is gaining ground on Austin Ruskoff, but with 10 laps to go, he's 11 seconds back. Chad Ragsdale, however, in 9th place, has just about caught Whipple. Tyler Ott back in 10th. Walkowiak in 11th, but not for much longer. Bradley James is almost there. And it doesn't look like kissing the wall there. Slowed James down a bit. It looks like Bradley is kissing the wall everywhere, but easily goes by Eric Walkowiak to take 11th and is 4.5 seconds behind Tyler Ott. Cody Burke's lead now 14.2 seconds over Clay Kirchenbauer, who has now moved back up into second. Pieper now in third, Kirk Marble in fourth. Kirk about 6.1 seconds behind Pieper. He is faster, but does he have the time? Last time by, Kirk was about 0.3 of a second faster than Pieper. Chad Ragsdale has now moved up into 8th. Whipple in 9th. Ott still has 10th for the moment, but Bradley James is inching closer. Bradley just over 2 seconds out of the top 10. Five laps to go at Homestead. The season finale tonight has not disappointed. But folks, make sure again you're following on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. Be looking for the announcement about the next season starting back up in a couple of weeks. And don't worry, we won't let you get bored on Wednesday nights. Either Unicorn or I will be streaming, and we will definitely have something to entertain you. Anytime we're streaming, please come by and talk to us. We'd love to talk to you guys. Abraham, make sure you come back tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. More great racing to come. Sunday morning, 11 Eastern, GT3 NSS is back on track. Both BRR and SMR back Sunday night at 7:30 Eastern. And of course, Jones BS Racing back on Monday nights. Retread Racing on Tuesdays and Home Motorsports on Thursdays. 2 laps to go for the Dominator. Bradley James has just gotten past Tyler Ott. He has made it back to the top 10. And Cody Burke is very, very lucky that James had that big setback early on. Folks, don't forget to watch on YouTube. We'll have a lot of shorts from this race. White flag is out one more time around for Cody, the Dominator Burke. Only about his 3rd race in the league. We've seen him dominate on Sunday nights in SMR, but he comes out here on a Wednesday night and shows he can dominate here as well. And out of turn 4, Cody Burke does it again. He wins the season finale at Homestead. Clay Kirchenbauer will bring it home in second and win the championship. Patrick Pieper coming home in third, Kirk Marble in fourth. Abraham, the same time on Facebook and Twitch. Well, tomorrow night it'll be 7:30 Eastern on Facebook and Twitch. And before we talk to our top 3, let's get a quick word with Bradley James. Hey, Bradley, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah.
Man, I have to say, if not for the incident with Pieper, you might have pulled off the win and been the only person who could stop Cody tonight.
Yeah, I think I had Cody covered. Patrick I guess he thought he was clear and just got me in the right rear.
Man, I have to say, you were fastest all night long, and that was one heck of a comeback. That setback, that was heartbreaking, man, but a great run and a great comeback.
Appreciate it.
Well, you can hear the heartbreak in Bradley's voice. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Patrick Pieper. Patrick, you finished the season with a third. You come home second in points. Overall, a great night.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the night went with the going flag to flag. The only thing I feel bad about was just early in that first run, I got I squeezed, I think it was Bradley, a little bit on the wall. And I know he was fast last week, and I didn't mean to do that, so I felt bad about that. But no, it was a good run. Just nailed all my pit stops. Tried to get Clay there at the end, but he must have saved too much tire earlier in that run because he dropped back about a second and a half. And I didn't have much challenge him, but it was a fun race.
Well, man, a great job and a great finish. A great season overall. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Doug.
Clay Kirchenbauer comes home in second, but pulls off the championship. Clay, you were fastest on old tires, but more importantly, you did everything right tonight and come home in second, but you win the championship.
Yeah, this was a really fun race. I don't know how the broadcast was, but so much strategy happening. About lap 33, I almost decided to do a 3-stop strategy so I could push, and I'm glad I didn't, because I think that would have been a disaster. So, really fun racing with Pat and Kirk and Richie there, and Cody's in a league of his own, so this honestly feels kind of like a win for me. I'm pretty happy.
Well, he didn't get the nickname the Dominator for nothing, but man, you had everybody covered all season long. One of your best seasons, plus the 2 wins early in the season. Definitely a huge improvement over seasons past, and man, an awesome championship. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. The trucks are not my favorite. I like high horsepower, low grip, and these are the opposites. So, surprised myself, but hopefully we can run something a little more horsepower next season.
I hope so, man, but great job, buddy.
Appreciate it, Doug. Thanks for everything this season.
And finally, our winner, Cody Burke. Well, Cody, they don't call you the Dominator for nothing. You had the field covered. I think if Bradley James had not had problems early, you might have had your hands full with him. But, man, you pulled off one heck of a run tonight.
Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward race. I knew I had to make 46 laps every run, so the first run, I kind of went all out. The second two runs, or the last two runs, I was clutching it every lap. I didn't want to get stuck the last couple laps, really having to slow down and save fuel. But no, it was kind of went the way I expected. I did think we would get a caution or two, but just in case, I knew I had to make that 46 lap mark and did whatever I had to do to get there.
Well, man, you definitely did everything right. I know strategy was a huge factor, and taking care of your tires tonight was huge. Only one or two drivers was faster than you on the old tires, man. You put on one heck of a show.
Yeah, saving the fuel kind of really saved your tires. So I mean, it all worked out for us. This was a fun race, and hopefully next season I'll do a few more.
Hope so, man. A great job, and look forward to seeing you again Sunday night, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you. See you next time.
Man, Cody Burke just dominates it again. Folks, don't forget, tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, Home Motorsports is back on track with a lot of your favorite drivers in here. Make sure you tune in for that and a whole lot of racing next week. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope y'all had as much fun as I did. Man, what a season finale. Have a great night, everybody.